Oh, that looks so chilly, like the little frost or whatever's on there. I was
Except
like,
sun. It's like
it is there's some sun. Yeah. All right, let's start with bucket fills. What's good? I know it takes like 3 people to talk before everybody else wants to, so here we go.
Surprise, it's me. I got a call the other day with a former client that has 2 referrals for me. Like, oh, happy day.
That is a good thing.
Yay. Well, client gave you 2 referrals. Oh, yay. That's super exciting.
Awesome. What else? What else is good? Everyone on Zoom can participate as well.
We won today.
Oh,
no idea how, but
yeah, that's all.
It happens real fast.
Yeah.
And Bethany's like, it wasn't that fast. You're gone for so long.
I didn't say anything.
She didn't say anything. I was just telepathically thinking.
Oh, we love Chloe.
What else?
I feel like the market's turning back on. People are waking up,
Yeah, I would agree.
getting going.
I would agree. Yeah. That's kind of fun. Kyle agrees.
I had a client, I had a client I sold a house in Steeplechase years ago, probably in
Is that a town?
Steeplechase, a little neighborhood in Plymouth,
Okay.
built in the 90s.
I thought it was like a town. You know, I'm a city girl when I'm like, huh?
Yeah, and the client I sold the house to reached back out yesterday, and I was pulling up their listing, and I looked down on the listing agent, and it was Joe Cashmore, and so I was like, oh, it's just fun to see his name again and remember all those great times, and then yesterday, same day, I had a client reach out to me. I sold a house same year, 2012. I have not talked to her. I've been like the crappy, like no call agent. And she called me and she said, hey, come out and list my house. I don't know why I deserve it.
I've been seeing your name lately. Like there was an agent on Grant Johnson's team, and I was like scrolling through. I was like, hey, I think that's Tony's listing. It's like, hey, I'm just touring Tony Sarenpa's listing at blah blah blah. I was like, your name's out there from other agents from different teams. It was great. I was like that's awesome. Those are good stories. What else? What else is good? Alex's birthday yesterday. Did you do anything fun? I had a great day yesterday. Oh, fun. So you got to play hockey with your brothers, and the Hughes got to play hockey together. Like it was a big sibling hockey day.
Weekends are best.
What else? What else we got? Derek and John, the weather is nice for you guys. Yeah. 70s, sun.
I can confirm weather has been great.
Well, hey, over here it's cloudy.
Oh, I feel so bad.
I know.
Look at you, you got a sweatshirt on too. You must have the AC rolling.
It's only 55 degrees.
Awesome. All right, moving on. You want to talk about these a little bit?
I will. So starting tomorrow, we do have CE. If you haven't signed up yet, you still can. You can also come tomorrow. If it's full, we'll make room for you. You can sign up tomorrow as well. If
You don't have to be like 24 hours in advance like the other CEs, right?
Right. Okay.
I just want to make sure that like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Breakfast is being sponsored by Pillar to Post, so come a little early, grab a snack, and join us for Level Up Your Business with ChatGPT. That's tomorrow. That's from 10 to noon. And then on the 15th, we have 2 classes. The Minnesota Housing CE class, that one you do need to sign up for. So if you want to go to that one, sometimes they close it, sometimes they let you in. It kind of depends on the person. So if you want to go to that class, I would say make sure you sign up for the Minnesota Housing class. That's not through us, so they have their own system.
And that's not fair housing, right?
Not fair housing.
How do you know if you're signed up for that?
You could sign up again.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't have access to their sign. So when in doubt, sign up again.
So I'm assuming I signed up. You know what I mean?
I don't know if
I was asking for a friend.
I think I got a confirmation when I signed up for that one, so you could double check that. But that one's at 10. Great North Title, thank you, is sponsoring breakfast for us on the 15th. So come a little early and grab a snack for that. And then stay for the home warranty, a deep dive. I did add the course number on here because we did have them out last fall. So if you renewed, so if you're in your 2-year cycle, you probably already have this class if you took it last fall. If you renewed in June, you can take this class again. So do check your transcript prior to signing up for that class, potentially for this office. So those are the ones for the 15th. Then we have the required module next Tuesday. Oh, I'm so sorry, Lydia. Next Monday is a holiday and our office is closed. So just be ready to go on Tuesday then at 9 a.m. for that required module. And then that class is sponsored by Supreme Lending, and they are also sponsoring lunch for us that day. So so thank you so much.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we figured out that if we bring food, maybe just maybe more people will show up. So there's like lots of food the next few weeks. So tell a friend. Maybe
and then-
bring a friend.
Yes, and then just on the note of CE, we did have a class scheduled with Custom One for that for next Wednesday. We do have to postpone that one. It's not going through with the DOC. We don't want to wait until like last minute and have to cancel it. So we are postponing that. Hopefully we'll be able to have that in April. We just are waiting for something. The DOC is not fast, so hopefully we'll be able to offer that one here with them. We're really excited to partner with them on some other things, hopefully this spring too. So more to come on that. But I was like, I'll just keep
You
going.
can if you want. Like I love it. Keep going. Just explain it all. Rick's not here, but we have a luxury open. This Thursday is from 4 to 6. We do want you to sign up for that because there will be like light appetizers and wine and cheese, yada, 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 so that we know how many people are coming. We do have quite a few people that have already signed up, so that's awesome. The builder is going to be on site as well. So it'll be kind of a fun question answer, tour a pretty house, take some videos, maybe get some content. So we're excited to see you there. Office is closed on Monday.
Oh, I'll talk about this too, sorry. So
Yeah, you
if
should have just kept
I
going.
know, right? So if you cannot join us, through the Minnesota Association of Realtors that you all have a membership to, so you can take these classes for free because you are a member. So they do have the fair housing in there. It's 2 hours of free CE. You do have to stay on every page for a certain amount of time before they let you click through it. But it is on there that you can take for free. You can also take the required module on there for free. That way. And then they have other classes on there too. So you can just sign in with your NERDS number. If it's your first time, your NERDS number is your password and your username to take any of these classes for free.
Happy hour. We have our refresh and reset. Is that next week, Tuesday? Yeah, January 20th at Cove. We did move this up. So we've kind of switched things around this year because we got feedback from everybody that if it was at 3, I could show up because I have kids pickup or I have dinner plans or whatever it is. So it's going to be 3 to 5. I hope it's not 3 to 5-ish because that's a really long night. But it's going to be 3 to 5 for our happy hour at Cove next week. Excited to see you all there. Book club. So we are doing this in thirds. So we're going to have a book every single quarter. So we have 3 months. So 1/3 book January, 1/3 book February, and then 1/3 of the book in March. We will get exact page numbers, but that's giving you kind of what the format of each of the books are. It is going to be one where you come in, you've read the book, and it's like any other book club. You talk about it. What were the ahas that you had from it? How are you implementing it into your life, maybe into your business? This is a great one. The reason we picked this is he's going to actually be at family reunion speaking as well. I've read this book. It's great. Like if you want a different kind of perspective than the go, I highly recommend this. I think we have maybe 4 or 5 people already signed up for book club. So, or like expressed interest in it. So do you have any questions around that at all? Awesome. Leadership team will be out of the office next Thursday. We have a regional meeting. Have all checks and MLS updates to us by Wednesday afternoon. They will be back in on the 23rd. So again, we will be at a regional meeting on Thursday. the 22nd, and most likely will not have a ton of options in helping out that day. Obviously, feel free to text one of us. We'll have a laptop, but the meeting is an all-day meeting.
Yeah, but feel free to text me. Let me know if you need anything.
Okay, so we reached out to all of the teams that were either a team already, wanting to build a team, and we're having a job fair on the 27th of this month. We actually had 2 new people sign up this morning for this. So anyone that you know that wants to get into real estate, has a real estate license, has questions, wants to join a team, or wants to be a solo agent, Jelena will also be there as the PC. Which is formatted as a team, right, of just kind of getting your business to a capping status. Send this out. We'd love to get a ton of people there on January 27th. So if it's even a reach out on your social media to people, like, hey, if you've ever thought about getting into real estate, show up this day, right? And we can kind of get them introduced to who they would like, as well as having an opportunity to meet with some of our rainmakers that day. Any questions around that at all? We would love to see like 20, 25 people there. Like, we would love to see that. Right now, we have about 6 people signed up. So we need your help in getting the word out and just, using your sphere and your contacts as well. Awesome. What is this? Oh, this is a Google class. Okay. It's a different format. This is in the closed office format. Okay, so Google reviews. I don't know if you guys remember, we had a 6-credit class on Google. We have a few teams in here that are really great at this. And we have the director of operations going to be teaching this. So if anybody knows what they're doing, it's these 2. I love our rainmakers, but I'm saying if there's someone really great to teach this, it's Courtney and Jess. And there are different nuances to this. And you guys actually had a contest last year to get your reviews up. How many reviews do you guys have? 300, 471. And you guys have 25. Okay. So if you don't have anywhere near that, which I am almost assuming most of you do not, you should be at this class. And the reason I say that, it's not just about the Google reviews, it's about what Google reviews do for your business, right? So that's why it talks about AI as well. This is how you're going to hit some of the AI sources, is if you get more reviews, you come up differently in AI searches. So I know you're like, I don't need this. Yes, you actually do. You do need this in your business. So again, this is going to be an awesome class taught on the 28th at 10 a.m. You are doing in-person, hands-on stuff, right? So bring your laptop so that you can take notes as well as just do it right there. Do you guys have questions around this at all? Who wants to get more Google reviews? I mean, I think it everybody, our office wants them too. And then Google does this really fun thing where it doesn't show all the reviews, which I still haven't figured out. So you need even more Google reviews. So show up. It's awesome. Okay, charity of the month. Lydia, how many have we gotten so far?
$150.
No, I'm talking about other suggestions.
Oh, none.
Okay, so guys, gals, you ask us on a regular basis, can you support our charity? I'm not exaggerating on this. It comes up often. We have this thing we're really passionate about. Can you do this? We listened again and we're like, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to have a month for each charity because we find this important, because we listen to you and find that it's important to you. And we have talked about this now for 3 weeks, maybe even, 3 weeks. Nobody has submitted a charity to us. I'm a kind human, but if you come up to me in the middle of a month and say, hey, I have this thing, can you help us support this charity? I might freak out and use Heather's no button and be like, no, I wouldn't do that. But reach out, sign up, tell us what your charity is so we can actually plan this and be really resourceful and helpful. So again, it's not something that should be daunting on you. It's us trying to help you is quite honestly, and also make an impact in the community and what's important to you. Right now, our goal is 5,000. We have 150 for our local fund. So our charity this month is actually KW Cares Local Fund. That local fund goes to agents that are in need. So something happens in their life and they would need, some sort of boost. It's our agents within this market center. That's what that helps. So it's not just like random money that is sitting there. It's truly if something happens, like a fire, a loss of job, a sickness. Those are all things that can go towards. Do you guys have questions around that at all? Does anybody have a charity that they're thinking potentially about submitting and just have not yet to the form? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3.
I'll do it on behalf of Ben. He has
4. Okay, so we've got 4 months. Can we start doing that? And if anybody has a February one, we would love to get ahead of that in February if there's a walk, a run, or anything like particular. I tried to look it up, like what each month was, like awareness month. But let us know. Otherwise, we might just pick a charity for that month. Cool? The t-shirt. Do you want to do this part?
Sure. So please send this out. We're trying to have we would like to have t-shirts made to support a cause. They'll say like KW like Minnetonka, caring for a cause, something like that. But the design will be something that is sent in to us, hopefully, if we get any. I don't know if we've had any yet.
Otherwise, it's most likely in one market.
But when we do different events, right, then we will all have these t-shirts. They'll be really cool. So if you know somebody creative in your life or a kid or somebody who would want to submit their drawing, please do so by January 30th. Our ALC will vote on them then on February 3rd, and we'll get those made.
And we would like them to be under the age of 18. So like it's fun to have a kid like draw it and their perspective as well on what a cause is and caring for a cause, right? So it's kind of like widespread of like helping others. So if they ask like, what do you want? Or what do you mean? That's what it is. So think of anything in regards to charity for a kid to actually draw a picture of. It'll be kind of fun to see what they come up with. Questions around that at all? Okay. This one we talked a little bit about. So Sales Rocket is getting put on by a few other KW offices. However, they have invited us to be a part of it. It is 6 weeks long, so it's 6 modules. They're all day classes. I believe it is $7.95 for this. It takes you all the way from beginning to end of running a successful business, right? It talks about skills. It talks about scripts. It talks about buyer presentations, listing presentations. It goes through everything you could potentially think about. And it essentially is telling you how Jeff and his team have built their team and what they have done. And he gives you his listing presentations, his buyer presentations, his scripts, everything you would need, you get in this class. So if it's something that you want to sharpen up on your skills, I highly recommend going to this. It is in Roseville, I believe, at the Market Center at KW. If you have any further questions, let me know. Otherwise, yeah. What day does it start? February 5th. And then it's the 6 weeks after that. I think it ends on the 12th, March 12th. Next. Our annual award ceremony is going to be February 17th. So this is going to be like a jam-packed day. So we will have like hors d'oeuvres and appetizers starting at noon. The awards will start at 12:30 right here in the training room. We would like you to RSVP so that we know how many people are coming to that as well. Some people are like, oh, I'm not getting an award. I don't want to be there. Not the right answer, right? Because we're here as a team and we're here as a group to celebrate everybody. And there are people that are getting awards that they've never had and are really proud of the year that they had, which would be awesome for us to cheer them all on. So if you're bah humbug about your year, get over it and maybe be grateful that someone else is having a shining moment, right? So we would like everyone to be there so that we can uplift everybody. After that, though, we also have happy hour that day. So we just kind of have a long day that day. So come with your party pants, make sure that you RSVP. And fun note, you might have an award without even knowing, right? So you've got a little QR code on your desk. So we have these like fun awards that we're going to be putting out there. But you have to nominate and vote on these. So we're just going to tally up who you think best fits that particular award? Like, what is one of the awards again? Like the Duff came, what?
Is a takeout Titan.
Okay, okay, that's a good one.
We have, the office dog one.
Yep,
It was
cutest
a-
office
People are
dog.
getting fired if you don't vote for the right dog in the office. People are getting fired. Yeah. By the way, I didn't pick that award because I started getting really concerned.
We have best laugh.
We have best laugh, yeah. So there's like fun ones in there. So again, it's gonna be a great day. 17th of February, yep. And then we have family reunion. We've not added anyone since the last 8 times I've said this. But in case anybody still does want to join, I've heard a lot of people saying that they're getting FOMO, that they're not going to it. So feel free to reach out. I would say, sooner the better so that we have hotel rooms available still. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be a really great experience and a ton of learning going on.
I think we've reached 10, so we'll make sure we get that drawing with the first 10 people for the $500 to be used towards your family reunion.
Awesome. Right, Norm. Oh, I see swag.
I heard you guys like competition on this podcast.
Sure do.
All right, I'm Britt with Great North Title. First off, I just want to thank you all for your support and your partnership. We get to do what we love because of you guys, so thank you so much for that. We are going to start out with a couple of questions before I hand this out for a chance to win a Great North Title hat. You have options today, so you can match your outfit accordingly. If you don't like a trucker hat, we do have more of a
Like different colors.
yes, we do. We have some new colors coming out soon too. Okay, so before we go to the next screen, that might have the answer. First off, who knows what FinCEN stands for? Anybody?
Is that like an actual word or is that like an acronym?
FINCEN.
Sounds fun.
Big F, small I, small N.
Yeah, we have
Financial something.
Yep, you're on the right track. Financial, okay. Second word starts with a C.
Financial censorship.
No, CN is an acronym. I've
No
seen
one else is.
Financial control.
Can you use it in a sentence, please?
Of course you.
All right, I'm just gonna give this one away.
Council?
No.
Consent.
You could commit a, financial crimes. What goes along with a crime?
Prevention?
Jail time.
Criminal enforcement.
Yep. So we've got financial crimes enforcement.
Financial crimes enforcement, N.
N.
Negotiations.
No,
Not that word.
no, that's it.
Oh.
You got it.
Great.
Come on, pick up your hat. You sure do. Let's give her a round of applause. All right, my next question
Get a
is, when does FinCEN come into play in real estate that will affect every single one of us? What is the date this year?
First.
In January.
March 1st? All right, come on up.
Oh, so you did know what it was.
We'll be learning.
Yes. This is
Always March
newer
1st.
information. You guys have probably heard whispers about it. We've kind of held off on presenting about it just because the government is still kind of figuring things out. And so we're just taking in that information as it's provided. So we can go ahead and go to the next slide here that had all of the answers that we were trying to find. Yes. So who here has a cash transaction, a cash buyer, or dreams of having a cash buyer? Show of hands?
Yeah.
Everybody? Okay, so this applies to every single one of you if you're going to have a cash buyer or accept an offer from a cash buyer. Let's go to the next slide here. So big things are changing in real estate again. First, it was the 1099 that title companies were required to report to the IRS for. Next, there was FIRPTA. So now we have to report on foreign status. And now FinCEN. So the government has added this requirement for all title companies. So it's not just a Great North thing, it is all title companies. This will be applicable to all files effective March 1st. So if you have a file that's already in process, if it's closing March 1st or later, this will apply to that file, to that buyer. So we'll go to the next slide here. When does it apply? Now, all 4 of these would have to be true in order for it to apply. So the closing date is March 1st or later. We've already established that. If the buyer, the cash buyer, is not an individual, that is when it would apply. So any LLC, any corporation, partnership, trust, even if it's a personal trust, a living trust, this does apply. It does have to be reported. The way to get around it is the buyer would have to be an individual. Then we do not need to report. If the property is residential, so this will apply for any residential property. If you have a cash buyer that's purchasing a commercial property, it doesn't apply at this time. That could change. But right now, it only applies to residential real estate, even if it's a 1 to 4 family home, so up to 4 units, and it's not financed. So the other way around it is if your lender would approve the buyer to close in a trust and they're getting financing, we do not need to report to FinCEN. So if all 4 of these conditions are met, that transaction is reportable and your title company will be responsible for getting all of that information from your buyer. So prepare them for that so that they're not blindsided. There's also a lot of scams out there. So make sure that you are introducing your buyer to your closer and your coordinator so that they feel comfortable giving them all of this personal information.
If you have a closing that's like the last day of February and it gets moved into March,
Yes.
would the title company be able to easily accommodate that? Okay, it's not like a long process.
We don't know how long the process is, but it shouldn't affect you. Before, we were told it all had to be completed before the transaction and approved by FinCEN. Now we're hearing we have up to 30 days after the closing to file it. We do have more information coming out from our underwriters as they are figuring out all those details. So as they are released, we will share that with you. And if you will allow us to post on your group on Facebook, I'll do a slide that will give you kind of all of these details. So it's like easy access. If anyone asks you questions, you can just refer back to that.
We also get an email out with that.
Yeah, I'll send it to you guys to send out to
So they don't get reported when they're not cash? So if they did $1 loan, then it doesn't get tracked.
There are going to be all kinds of rules. Yes. But I don't know that you get approved for $1 mortgage, but
Maybe it's worth it.
Well, but private lending
You have
would.
a client that does a lot of private lending.
So any private lending still falls under the cash.
That's of it. Listed there.
right, if you're just getting like a personal mortgage, we would. Great, so when does it not apply? If the buyer is an individual purchasing in their own name, it does not apply. Again, any cash buyer, individual, we do not need to report them. If the transaction is financed by a traditional institutional lender, we do not need to report them. And then the closing occurs before March 1st. So as you had mentioned, if it gets pushed to March 1st or later, it will have to go through that process. So if you have anything that is closing at the very beginning of March, and it's a trust or an entity, you may want to talk to your buyer and see if they want to move up that closing date or if they want to go through.
Only the buyers in the trust. The seller doesn't matter.
No, the seller doesn't. Right. So as the title or settlement agent, we are responsible for that reporting. So we will be the ones asking your client for all of that personal information that is required by the government. We will collect all of that information and upload it into the FinCEN system, which we're still waiting for training on, but should be coming soon. And it must be filed within 30 days after closing. It is probably going to be part of our process to complete it right before the closing occurs, because if it gets denied or we're missing information, it may be more difficult to get that information if they already got the house. So just if you can help support us on the importance of that and making sure that your buyer is very skeptical of who they give their information to, just because AI and scammers are so good right now. And then next slide, I think that might be the end here. Okay. So I know that you guys have heard talks of DOI where that was just ruled not as a requirement for all LLCs. So this doesn't have anything to do with that. So don't get the two confused. FinCEN has passed. That is going to go into effect March 1st. It is not anything about the LLC reporting for who has ownership. All right, so I just kind of did a summary here, just in case anybody wanted that at your fingertips. Everybody loves Cliff Notes, I think, or I do anyways. I will just put these sheets in the back, so if you guys want to grab them, this is the portal that we use, secure portal is Qualia. Just kind of runs through what applies for these situations, and then it's just kind of how our process will work, just so you can kind of understand it. You don't have to actually know the background of that. So I will leave these up here for you guys to grab at the end, and then I will give you an update on the Facebook.
So what kind of information is going to be required from the buyers for this, Vincent? And is it going to change the title closing costs?
We don't know if it's going to change the cost yet. There are some title companies that are going to charge for the service. So we're waiting to find out what the underwriters are expecting from their agencies. So I'll give you an update on that. And then as far as what they're going to ask for, they're going to ask the same information that we usually do for closings, like what is the tax ID number or social security number if it's a personal trust and they're not going to have an EIN. We'll need that, but then also we have to get social security numbers for any of the beneficiaries of the entity or the trust, addresses, anything else that they ask for. We will need IDs. We'll have to verify their identity. So there's going to be a lot of layers of verification.
And what's the why behind it? And
Oh, I just chat GBT'd it. I got a whole list.
Oh, wise.
Why? Yeah, I mean,
just so we can explain it.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be a protective way for LLCs to not be laundering money.
Bottom line is the country, they want to know who owns our country, but I think they're also gonna be tracking for tax purposes too. So ultimately, I think there could be audits that come out of information the government finds with this stuff. There's a whole laundry list of stuff that they talk about, like eliminates autonomous wealth storage, maps who owns what in the network, enables tax sanctions and enforcement. It's a soft form of capital control, expands the U.S. financial surveillance. I don't like it.
It will be.
New year, new topic.
I like part of it, but I don't like all of it.
Hey, thank you for that.
That's a pretty good segue.
Actually.
For setting the stage. Where do you go from here?
Can we just make sure we go to the right place?
I get so fired up.
Okay, so we are attempting to do agent interviews. Watch out, that goes down really fast. Agent interviews or panels, because again, everyone was like, we would love to hear from other agents, mega agents, different perspectives. Tony, I mean, the whole title of this was like modern investor, right? So you've been an investor for how long in different arenas? So tell us a little bit about the arenas that you've invested in real estate, everything. Then that can kind of segue us into where you're investing now, why you're investing there. And again, with this is one perspective from one human being, right? So,
Not necessarily the right one.
well, I think people, they're like, oh, I wouldn't do that, or I would. Again, it's we want to give you perspectives from a ton of different people throughout the year. So, go.
So I started investing I got my introduction to it in 2001. Inherited a property that I decided to rent out. And then all the way through school, I was like, oh my gosh, like you can just receive mailbox money and like make a few phone calls. Like life could be like that. So that was sort of how I mapped out my
And this was college when you say school.
Yeah, so I was
Okay.
I was 20. 2001 I was 20.
Okay.
So I've always kind of framed my working life around that idea or that concept. And I think being able to talk about it and being able to like figure it out in my mind as my evolution has gone on, it's been really interesting. Like it's taken me a lot of study for understanding like, okay, well, what is the system that we work in? And how does our monetary system work? So then that sort of launched into all these other questions and thoughts I had. And so I'm like the last couple of years, like I've very openly been in this journey or this process of figuring out like what to do, how to navigate it. Sometimes I'm getting it wrong. Sometimes I'm on the right track. Like it's really been an interesting process. So I had to start after the investing piece. So then I bought a bunch of rental properties. Like, oh, well, most of the millionaires have been built in this country on some form of rental real estate, whether it's commercial or land or whatever. The hardest part I think that I've started to realize is in that pursuit of rental property, there's a few things that you can't control. And I think that when you're trying to predict an outcome, and then there's these other factors at play that completely come from left field, they change with things that are outside of us, it makes it really hard to plan. And so I think it's really caused me to change my thinking and my framework around, well, okay, well, how do I create something that's outside of other major controls? So like I can't control the cost of materials. I can't control the cost or availability of contractors. And so that's been the source of one of my biggest headaches is like I wake up and I have like 3 messages. Oh, like dishwasher's not working and the microwave's not working. Well, the appliances have also gotten so expensive that you go and you call the appliance repair person hoping, right, $100 part, $100 labor. What doesn't? So $1,000 dishwasher costs $750 to fix, even if it's something silly minor. So we started as a practice, 90% of the time, something's broken, we just replace it, which sucks. It's super wasteful. I don't like, I mean, I just imagine like this whole junkyard full of these appliances that are 95% working, but we have some stupid part that doesn't work, or you've got a manufacturer that has product new that they still produce. You've got one that's 2 years old and you can't get parts for that one, even though they still make it right now, but they don't make the parts available. So then you're forced to go buy a new one. And this is just like one of the little pieces within some of my frustration is there's just these things that come into play that take a margin away that, okay, well, how do I get out of it? How do I avoid that as a headache?
How many properties do you own right now?
22. We sold our first one in September of last year. I don't know if I really have plans to acquire more as I sell. I had some losses carry forward. My previous investment, well, I could give a whole class of investments that didn't. So I sold that first one. I had some losses, so I didn't have tax, so I was able to reinvest really in what I wanted to with those funds rather than have to do it.
Okay.
So now I'm in this I'm in this exploration. I just had a call with a guy I'm consulting with before this. I'm trying to figure out so if I do decide to sell some, where do I put the money? Because in some of these, like I'll give you one example. So I had my accountant run an entire analysis of every property I own. What is the depreciation? What is the tax consequence if I sell them at X price? So I have this whole spreadsheet set up so that I can plug in price, and then it's got my current depreciation and all the tax consequences on one sheet. So it makes it, from a financial perspective, makes it really clear, like, okay, well, what is my potential consequence if I sell some of these and want to go outside of real estate to invest? And it becomes really nasty for you. So in some of mine, like let's say I have 500,000 in cash I'm going to get from the sale, I might owe 170,000 taxes of them. So some of them I've owned for long enough, and I've already 1031 into some others. So if I sell those that were part of a previous 1031, I still got recapture for 50 years. So it becomes really nasty. So I'm trying to figure that out.
So what are you doing with that to figure it out? As obviously you've evolved in what you started with, how you invested, had some losses in investing in things outside of real estate. Were the other gains?
All my losses are outside of real estate.
Okay.
I've not ever lost money in any real estate.
Okay. I was thinking about investing. I'd probably reach out to him on a one-on-one just with that comment. But now you want to potentially go outside of real estate or completely go outside of real estate. So tell us a little bit why and what that looks like and what you're interested in now.
Yeah, so I think there's so much to this topic. It's like hard to get out in a short period of time. A lot of the process I've gone through, but one of the pieces to my research has been this study of what money is. I wanted to know like the very core of, well, what are we even working with? Like, what is this? And I know it sounds like a really simple thing, like you have this, store of value and you exchange it for stuff. Well, if you go back to the beginning of time, when you had a really small economy, or not even an economy, when you had 3 people living on an island, they all traded labor. They traded what they knew how to do. Like one guy knew how to fish, another person knew how to cook, and another person how to make shelter. It's super simple. But then as an economy grows and it gets really, really big, cumbersome, like there's a million products out there, and to connect these people, you have to have some kind of a universal transfer of value. And so like the way I look at money, like the most simple definition that I really love is our money is our time and our value stored. And it's super simple, but there was a guy that did it was like a 150 podcast series on the topic of what is money. And so listening to hundreds of hours of these people talk about what it is, and they don't talk about money, like they talk about human behavior, and they talk about people and the relationship between people and how it all works. And so inherently, if we have a form of money that is controlled by an entity that benefits from the control, all the people working in the system are at a serious disadvantage. And I think because of the system we have, I think it actually makes almost every transaction, in a way, dishonest.
He told my kids this, by the way. We were at dinner with him, and retelling Paige and Maddie like, huh? And I was like, could you maybe explain that in different terms? Because Maddie's like it's a dollar, and she's like, I spend that like it's going out of style, So go into description of what that means.
So the dollar, like, we could talk for hours on it, so I'll try and make it simple.
I think it's awesome how passionate, because I think we think of money and we have a relationship with money. All of us do, right? Whether you had it when you were younger, you didn't have it when you were younger, you were given money, you work hard for money. We all have this lid and this idea of money. And what Tony has done over time is research money. Right? So now he can have an actual, like, his feeling on money and his relationship with money has changed, but by learning about it, right? And I think it has gotten me into like even like the psychology of money, reading that book. And it's just interesting when you learn about that, it changes your relationship of how you work, what you do, why you do it. So yeah, we could talk for hours on it. So if you feel passion coming out of there, like hit them up at a happy hour or something, they might go to town on it. But
Yeah.
explain why you feel like when you were talking about it being dishonest, like every transaction.
So you talked about the dollar and how
Yeah.
the page, and Patty were talking about that. I think if the form, so if our value and our time, our energy is stored in something that's losing value. So just think about one statistic, and this is hard because this spreads multi-generations. So in the early 1900s, like let's just say 1913, which is an important date in history. In 1913, a dollar was worth $1, but today that dollar is worth 3 cents of what purchasing power that dollar had 120 years ago, 150 years ago. So that dollar, and that's over 3 people's lifetimes. Okay, so that's not like we can't see it when we're living here and we're 40, 30, 40, 50 years old, 20 years old, whatever. We don't really see it on that scale. It's really different because it's our length of time just as a compute. So you look at it over that 115-year period, like, wait a minute, like if you're trying to create multi-generational wealth, you're trying to create like a charity, or you're trying to create some sort of company or thing that produces value over time, if it's going to lose and go down by 97 or 98% in 100 years, well, how do you future-proof that? How does that work? And so like I've been seeing this in real estate and how taxes and insurance and repairs are pushing me out of ownership in my rentals. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, it's eroding right underneath my feet. I can't do this way anymore. Like it's not sustainable. It might be sustainable in my lifetime, barely, but like I think about my kids and their kids, and how does it all work? So I think it's inherently dishonest in a transaction that exists on a system that's eroding, and we don't control that supply. The whole issue is that supply is infinite. Like you've heard of quantitative easing, you've heard of quantitative tightening.
And if you haven't, that's okay.
Has everyone heard of those terms? Like, do you understand what those are? Essentially, the government either increasing or decreasing the supply of money help manipulate how we transact. So they're like if you look at, and I don't know who these people are. Like I know that the Fed is an independently owned organization that is outside of our government. It was originally created by Rothschilds, other large, longer families in Oregon, was right at the very center of it. So there's so much history with all of it. It's, oh my gosh, this topic is just so rich and so full of
He
these
looks like a kid that like just
these
woke up for
amazing
Christmas
stories.
to an
It's just
entire
wild.
like Christmas tree of gifts right now. Your eyes like
Well, and then you look at it now, like who's frustrated with the amount of fighting our world has? I don't know anybody who isn't. The money is at the very center of all of it. The money is part of why we have the ability for people to fight. So we've got this organization that exists that controls the money supply, and then we've got this fraud and all the stuff that happens. Well, if they couldn't print the money, if they couldn't just create the money, there'd be no fraud to happen because we'd be able to track the system, we'd be able to see it. So the beauty is, how do we create a system that has enough tracking and enough adoption across the globe that we can all use and all agree to? So, and I think we're in the midst of a change, and I don't know where it goes. I don't know exactly what system we end up with, but if it's the current powers that be, then it's going to be a highly regulated, very controlled system, like what we were just talking about. This in whatever, I can't remember.
Just then.
Yeah, if like that is part of the layer of this financial control. Now, part of that's probably good because we don't want China coming in and owning our entire country. Like, we don't want that. We don't want them to control our farming. We don't want them to control what pesticides and what chemicals are used in our food. Then we're not talking about money. We're talking about the world and how we work together and how does the whole system work so that we have an honest world. So I think that's part of why this whole topic has just grabbed my attention more than anything else I've ever studied.
And the topic is moving towards what for you?
I want a form of passive income that works.
Okay.
I want all my time, energy, and value stored in something that works far beyond my labor could do.
What is that? What is that for you right now?
I'm figuring it out.
Okay.
I think it overlaps a lot of different things, but I think the whole topic that caused me to start studying the idea of Bitcoin and what it was and the system that it is. And that didn't just come out of thin air after the 2008 financial crisis. It did show up then, and it was launched then. But it was thousands of years of development of a lot of different people's ideas. And so far it seems to be one of the best solutions that covers a lot of the different things that an honest form of money needs, like a form of money that God would have.
Okay, so what would you explain Bitcoin as?
It's the largest computer network in the world. Very simply, it's an open source ledger of every transaction that exists within the system is open to anyone to see it. Okay. The beauty of it is it's peer to peer. So like our current banking system, you got to go through 5 to 7 parties to have delivery of the stored time and energy over space. But with Bitcoin, it is 2 instead of 5 to 7. Just 2. Yeah. I can send it to you. You can send it to me. There's a very small fee in the transaction, but it's nothing like our current banking system. And that transaction settles in 10 minutes. Longest it'll take is 10 minutes. Try to send an international wire through FinCEN. It takes 7 to 10 days. It might even get held up in customs somehow because they pretend that it gets brought on a boat. I don't know.
Okay, so
And then a couple
we just
people
opened up
along
like
the way.
so many different questions, I feel like, for people, right? Like, we have a very short period of time. So I want, what questions do you have for Tony just in regards to, okay, yep, there we go. We'll start over here.
Could you please share some of the podcasts that you listen to? For the,
Robert Breedlove.
is that the,
Robert Breedlove is the creator,
okay.
and he did a series called the Michael Saylor series. A name to understand in Bitcoin is Michael Saylor. He's like, I don't know what he is, but he's the most outspoken business owner leveraging, creating things off of this Bitcoin. Just one of the most fascinating people I've ever listened to.
So it was a What is Money?
The What is Money show,
Yeah.
created by Robert Breedlove. So my suggestion would be go back to the first 9 episodes 1 through 9. They're 2.5 hours each, and it's literally Michael Saylor just like, he basically describes the history of the world and how humans evolved and worked together. Like, it's so fun. It's so fun to listen to him. He's just an incredible. But that was another book to read is the Bitcoin Standard. 90% of that book is about the history of money. The last tiny little 10%, they just start touching on Bitcoin.
Wendy.
So besides real estate, what other areas do you have your money in? Have it in the stock market, Bitcoin? I mean, what other arenas are you invested in?
I like real estate. I think certain parts of the stock market are okay. I'm really passionate about Bitcoin. I think there's a lot of different places it can go. Like, I think when you start bringing up Bitcoin, a lot of people start bringing up gold and silver. Gold and silver just inherently have a storage and a transfer issue. Like you go buy a gold bar or a silver bar and then you go sell it, you got 10% haircut off the top just for them to take it. It's hard. And then you have armed guards go with you, you know. It's like,
I know,
it's just,
last time I did that, it
it's
was
just
rough.
kind, it's just kind of,
Like, when I had
kind
all
of a
those gold
messy.
bars at my house.
When you're talking about tiny, one small pieces, like it's not that big of a deal, but you got a big safe full of it. Like I have a close friend of mine that's got a safe full of gold. That was the thing he started realizing when he started studying money. He was like, the only thing I can really wrap my head around is this, you know? And then he started further down the Bitcoin journey, and it's like solves so much more than what gold, silver. Yeah, there's a lot of different things. I think there is a level of diversification, people will say, but I think that apparently also has some major issues. Because if you go and invest in the stock market itself, you're going to stay at best, you're going to stay on par with purchasing power. So if it goes up by 15%, everybody feels really good about it, but no one studies money enough to understand how much purchasing power you're using. So if you track stock market over the last 30 or 40 years, you're exactly on par with purchasing.
So you personally don't have much in stock, mostly Bitcoin and real
I
estate?
never said that. No, no. I'm spread out plenty well. I'm starting to be more concentrated. It's still in process.
I was just curious, as someone who's studying money, where are the places you're choosing to put their?
Yeah, I think everyone has to answer that question for themselves. Like, I don't think there's one right answer, because it depends on what you're going to do with it. What do you need? How much do you have? I think there's a lot to that.
I think the right answer is diversity.
Maybe that's just the safe way, and that's a cop out to say I'm not going to study enough, know what I should do for me. That's how I would respond to that.
I remember when I opened up the savings. Any other questions for Tony?
We got it.
Yeah, one more question.
Before you make a decision on investing or selling, moving money, do you notice what have a certain either a consultant or your CPA or like for the people that you talk to, because one thing can affect
Everyone. There's probably 15 different major people I talk to first.
would you recommend for a novice investor? What 3 people would you recommend having on your call list? Yay.
I mean, I put Tony on there.
Well, I think if there's, I think a CPA is necessary to talk to, but I think a lot of people immediately go to the financial advisor. They're inside the system. They're inside. I have not met a financial advisor that knows more than I do about money or the history of the world. I've not met one. I'm not saying I'm smarter than them. I'm just saying they've not studied that part of the world. For the most part, they go to school, they have these degrees, they have this stuff, but then there's another entity that runs the research on the companies they should invest in. And then that advisor hardly really even knows anything about a lot of those companies, but they rely on another person's. So it's like this telephone game of investment advice. Like, I'm not paying 1.5% for that. That's a joke. Those jobs wouldn't exist if we didn't have fake money. We wouldn't need them if we had a money that held our labor, our store of value, our time in an honest way. They wouldn't be needed. Never existed before our fiat money. Fiat money is fake government. US dollar. And every other country's created a fake too.
Did you guys find this fascinating, helpful? Does anybody want to learn a little bit more about money and why and all the things? Because I sure do.
Definitely hoping you're gonna be at happy hour.
Well, thank you for doing this. I think we could probably have you millions of different times talking about it. And again, if you have questions, you're always, you're always open to answering them or talking about it.
I love being challenged with it too, because I don't know very much on a lot of things.
Okay.
If somebody's got a different idea. I'd love to hear
I'm
it.
like, okay, I don't know if I'd agree with that, but he does absolutely love the challenging piece. So let's give him a round of applause. And again, feel free to reach out to him. Maybe I'll get some of the podcasts and send those out. We have Profile Who Wants to Chat, brought lunch. So let's welcome you guys up.
So since everyone's brains are full now from the previous two presentations, I'm gonna keep this super short so that everyone can eat lunch and we're over time. So we have all of our amazing products that we've had, including newsletters. We have QuickBooks bookkeeping now, and then this year we are launching packages that are going to be marketing for not only real estate agents, but also small businesses. So, which is going to incorporate blogs, newsletters, social media, landing page, and all incorporated to rank in ChatGPT and AI searches. So that is what we are launching this year. And so if you have any questions or want to hear more about that, let us know.
So you could manage an agent's entire social media, and they could have social media, and they could have posts, and all of that would be done for them.
Yes, we have that right now. Yes.
You have that right now. Oh, okay.
What we're adding is like, so different packages, so more group packages, and then like just small businesses in general, so outside of real estate, anything like that.
We can talk to our vendor partners.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody enjoy your lunch.
Again, you can go to Profile, find it, and see that you have your different packages there, everything that's available, reach out to you, and
And Whitney and I are here each of us are here one day a week, so twice a week. We're over there.
And our info at the bottom here.
These are the other. Yeah, for sure.
I think this was to my calendar.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
any questions?
Thank you guys.
In my eyes.
You wanna know, don't you? Well, maybe you should have showed up on time, Claire.
All right, wants and needs.
Take this.
We can maybe talk about as we're grabbing some
Voting.
lunch. Otherwise, send them to Lydia
No, obviously.
before 2 o'clock, right?
Got the night.
And on that, we need address, location,